back in 2011, Nissan launched this, the original Leaf, and since then they've sold 300,000 of them. They are global leaders in electric vehicles, and today we're going to have a look at its replacement, the brand new Nissan Leaf Mark II. Now, one of the big things about electric cars that people fret about is range. The idea that you're going to run out of battery power and it's going to take you hours and hours and hours to charge it up. So to put some of those concerns to the side, we're going to take this, the brand new Nissan Leaf, from here in Wolverhampton to Liverpool and back. And as you can see, well, you might be able to see, but outside it's snowing. It is March, but it is freezing cold. At the moment, the only thing that's in the news is the beast from the east.
Snow and freezing temperatures have caused disruption once again over most of the UK as two storms, Storm Emma and the beast from the east, collided over Britain.
Apart from being inconvenient, poses a few challenges for electric cars. The batteries, when cold, are not as efficient as when they're running towards their more optimum temperatures, say between 10 and 25 degrees. Also, when you run an electric car in the winter, you have to run a heating system. Now, with a normal car, you've got a petrol or diesel engine, which is burning fuel, and as part of that process, you do get a byproduct, heat, which is then used to heat the cabin. With electric cars, you don't get a byproduct of heat, so therefore it has to be created, and that requires energy, which uses power, which can't be used then to move the car. So this is probably about as challenging as it's going to get for an electric car in the UK. We're doing a big journey and it's currently 0 degrees outside. It is registering as freezing. And my range, 109 miles, which is fine. Liverpool is 88 miles away, but it's getting back. Well, that's what we're going to do in this video.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
So what we're going to do is run the heaters. We're going to run this car as we would a normal car. We're going to see what impact that has on the range, and our first stop is Telford Services, where we're going to give this car a quick charge just to help it along its way. Now, if I'd plugged this car in last night and given it a charge overnight, I probably wouldn't need to do this until I got to the destination. Similarly, if it was a bit warmer outside and I hadn't got to run the heating, we probably would be able to get to Liverpool and back without plugging in at all.
Audio Jungle.
So, we're here at Telford Services now and we need to charge up the new Leaf. Now, first thing it's told me to do is download an app, which I've done. So let's see how easy or difficult this is. So, we want to, let's have a look at this. We want to charge. Scan the pump's QR code, perfect. Okay, so, okay. Where is the QR code on this? Ah, there, ID. Right. Are you at Telford? Yes. Good. I think, therefore I am. I think it's this one. Yes. Now it comes up with a handy cross-match. DC, continue. Yep, that's what we want. It's 30 pence per kilowatt hour. And it's got a 40 kilowatt battery. So from flat to full, 40 times 3 is what, £1.20? Right, so that'll be about 12 quid. So now we've got something over here. I'm gonna guess Generation 2. This fella. Start charging. How does this work? initialising. Frame for charging. Something's clicked in there, that's good. The lights come on, there's noise happening. Testing insulation. It's all going well. Charging! Ah, perfect. So that's it. My electric vehicle's on charge. I'm being charged at the moment 30 pence per kilowatt hour. It needs probably about 20 kilowatt hours, so 30 times 20, about £6. And did you know Chadimo or Chadimo is taken from the Japanese phrase for "would you like a cup of tea?" And that sounds like a brilliant idea because it's 1 degree and snowing. So I'm going to go and get a coffee.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Right, so that's all charged. Put that back. Close that. Close that. All done. Here's an interesting pub fact for you about the Nissan Leaf. The door mirrors. When they were designing them, they had to design them to be more quiet than normal door mirrors. As the air rushes around them, that creates a lot of noise. And in a normal car, you wouldn't notice because you've also got the sound of the engine. Whereas in this, you haven't. So everything is that much more noticeable. And the air going around the wing mirrors, not only was it creating air resistance, which was affecting the range, but also you could hear it more. So they've actually tuned the mirrors to create less wind noise and less resistance. Electric cars also have a few benefits as well, with some fun little gadgets. A lot of them now will connect to your smartphone so that you can check on the status of your vehicle at any one point. When we charged up earlier, the charge point was connected to my mobile and told me when the car was ready to go. And we were able to go back and it had got 91% charge, which is great. As also, if it's at home and it's plugged in, you can set the preconditioning system. So in the middle of winter when it's freezing cold, you can come out in the morning, car's fully charged. Not only that, it's lovely and warm, ready to go. Now the top of the range Nissan Leaf comes with a heated steering wheel, heated front seats and also heated rear seats. And some of you may be wondering why. Because if you think about it, heating something up using electricity, think like an iron or a kettle, typically uses a lot of electricity to do that. However, when it comes to heating up a car, if you're heating up the entire cabin, especially with an electric car which doesn't have an engine creating heat as a byproduct, it's got to heat a huge space. And if you think about it, there's only me in this car right now. I only need me to be warm. So pop on the heated seat, that will keep me warm. The rest of the cabin can be nice and cool, no problem.
Audio Jungle.
Okay, quick update for you on how we are getting on. When we left the service station, we got around 140 miles worth of range. We're down to about 132 miles now. However, the range that we've lost when we reset the trip was only about 2 miles. So we've lost 2 miles worth of range since we reset the trip. But according to the trip computer, we've actually travelled 5.5 miles. So although we are being quite careful in the way we're driving this car at the moment, we're not accelerating, making sure we're staying in the blue eco zone on the display, we're still doing 50 or 60 miles an hour on these country lanes. And at the moment we're not losing as much range for the distance that we're travelling. So we should, in theory, be able to get to Liverpool quite comfortably and be able to make, if not all the way back, certainly far enough back for us to stop at a service station and gain another rapid charge.
Audio Jungle.
The other good thing about electric vehicles is they are really good fun to drive. The Leaf has got this really cool feature called e-pedal, and with that, literally you can drive the car just on the accelerator, lift off, and it will auto regen, almost like it's applying the brakes for you. So you can literally accelerate and lift off, and it will slow down for you, which is great. And because they're so quiet, they are less tiresome to drive. And you do get used to that zippy immediacy of an electric motor. Certainly if you go back to a petrol or diesel, sometimes they can actually feel a bit sluggish, a bit old school, and even a bit coarse, because these are so smooth and quiet and comfortable.
Audio Jungle.
So the new version of the Leaf will do about 50% more range than the outgoing version. It's also about £1,500 cheaper. Now, although Nissan say it will do about 236 miles on a charge, realistically you're looking at about 180 to 200 depending on weather conditions. Now, we've been shooting all day today in freezing cold temperatures. We've had snow, sleet and even hail, and we've got about 150 miles worth of range out of it. What I will say with electric vehicles is that that maximum range comes from 100% charge. To get 100% charge can take quite a long time, because after 80% the vehicle slows down the rate of charge to protect the batteries. So realistically, whichever electric vehicle you go for, they're going to say that there's a maximum range of say 250 miles. You want to think between 50 and 75% of that range is realistic in the real world, with fluctuations in temperature and so forth. If it's colder, the batteries are going to hold less power, and also you're going to be running things like heating systems which use even more power, which obviously affects your range.
Audio Jungle.
Oh, look at this, we are here. Excellent. Right, so all the way to Liverpool, and we have got about 58 miles of range left. So while we're here, time for a bit of a top up, both for the car and for me. I think spot of lunch is in order.
Audio Jungle.
So there you have it, we've come all the way from Wolverhampton to Liverpool. We've had to pull over to do one charge, but we've still got 60 miles worth of range left in the car. So technically, we wouldn't have even had to do that. You can find multiple charge points around cities, so you could very quickly come here, charge your vehicle up, go off and have a bite to eat or a quick drink, come back and then be able to head home. So EVs are not just for short journeys, you can use them for long journeys as well, and that's where you get the most cost savings. Come down to Westway Nissan, have a go in the new Nissan Leaf. It's a fantastic car.